Nonprofit organizations provide a wide range of needed services in our community. Probably one of the most needed and most difficult services to provide because of cost is affordable housing. But there's one group that is not afraid to take on the challenge of providing affordable housing in our community. That's Affordable Community Environments, probably better known to you as ACE. Today we're going to learn more about ACE from its Executive Director, Leah Greenwood. Leah, welcome to our program.
Thank you.
Tell me about Affordable Community Environments.
Affordable Community Environments is a small local nonprofit. We serve Clark County and Southwest Washington. We were actually formed in 1998 because there was an affordable housing project being developed by a private developer that was failing. And so the local community developed an advisory committee. They wanted to keep the project going because there was such a need for affordable housing in the community. And that was the creation of ACE. For the last 12 years, we've been building affordable housing. Our goal is really to both provide the housing, but also that our housing is considered an asset in the community. And so we work real hard to ensure that everyone's proud of what we're developing and what we're providing in the community.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the people that you serve?
Well, we've made a real point of ensuring that our communities are mixed. And what we mean by mixed and diverse is that our apartment communities have a mix of ages, a mix of both seniors, families with children, residents with disabilities. We really want each of our apartment communities to reflect what a regular neighborhood would just naturally develop as. And so the diversity of our housing is very important for us to maintain. The purpose for us and who we serve is trying to help those that have difficulty renting in the private apartment market, either because they're on fixed incomes, maybe they have disabilities where they're unable to work, or they may be working and the wages are just too low to support living in quality housing. And so our goal is that we're providing housing for a wide range of folks that they can afford, that ensures that they're able to provide all the other necessary services, childcare, food, all the things that all of us need to be successful. And that it'll stay there, that when the market goes up and down, our housing remains affordable, and that it's there we enter into agreements that our housing stays affordable for 40 years.
I see.
So we want it to be permanent, a permanent fixture in the community.
Mm-hmm. Well, can you tell me a little bit more about the particular developments that ACE has done?
Well, our first development was started in 1998, which is Covington Commons, and that's in the Orchards community in Vancouver, just off Covington Road and 73rd Street. We actually have 3 different apartment communities that are all clustered right there next to each other. Covington Commons is the first, the second was Cascadia Village Apartments, and the third is the Muse at Cascadia Village. So together, those 3 communities provide 115 units of affordable rental housing.
I see.
They're a real mix. Covington Commons has some real unique units that are large, 4-bedroom, 4-bath, and those were really developed to specifically serve a group home type living for residents with developmental disabilities. And it's been a real success in serving that population. And we've also found they've been great units for some of our larger immigrant families as well.
I see.
Which was not necessarily what was planned initially. In our Cascadia Village project, that would really be the first one where we focused real heavily on design and trying to step up our standard of what our housing looked like. Ensuring that it was developed around a courtyard and a community and very inwardly focused. And then the Muse was our third project. And as I said, they're all clustered together. We view them as a single community. We've worked very hard to ensure that we have high quality design, high quality construction. These have to last for a long time. We also work to ensure that they're they're assets, that they look good. And I would argue that our apartment communities are probably the best looking developments in the neighborhood. At least that's our goal.
Well, it sounds like a good goal. Now, you've talked about design quite a bit. Why do you find design so important as an aspect of developing affordable housing?
Well, there are a number of reasons. One, the first and foremost is everyone wants to feel proud about where they live, and they want to be comfortable about where they live. And it doesn't matter if you're in affordable housing, subsidized housing, or you're out buying your first home. You want to feel good about where you live. And so for us, our residents are more successful when they feel good about where they live. And if their housing looks good and it's quality housing and it doesn't stand out as here I am living in affordable housing, then it makes a big impact. Mm-hmm. The other is for the surrounding neighborhood. We want our housing to be viewed as an asset. We are a community development organization. So for us, we want our housing to look good. We want it to either blend in with the community or stand out as a star in the community. We want the neighbors to be proud to live next to our housing. So from those kind of physical, what the housing looks like, it's very important, we think, for both our community and our residents. We also want to be proud of it. But we also need the housing to last a long time. And so for it to be good construction, good materials, our housing doesn't make money, so we don't have a lot of resources to continually reinvest, so we need to know that it was built right the first time. We need to know that things are going to last. We need to know that it will be easy to maintain, efficient, that the type of fixtures and landscaping and appliances that are efficient for us to run, so that we're saving money and that we can continue to keep rents low for residents. So all of those go together. Both as the community. We want it to be good for the community, good for our residents, and then good for us to operate.
All right. Now, a good question for you here, or a pointed question, I guess. How are these funded? How do you provide affordable housing?
Well, it's hard.
I can imagine.
So one thing I mentioned is that the housing doesn't make money. We're not in this business to make money. We're in it to ensure that we're providing low-cost housing that's affordable for residents. And what that means is our projects we might have 8 different funding sources. That means 8 different applications. Mm-hmm. Those may be a range of grants from corporations or other nonprofit organizations focused on affordable housing. Our primary funders are the state of Washington and Clark County. So through their both local and federally funded programs, they're able to provide us favorable financing, both in the form of loans that are low interest, deferred long periods of time to pay them back, or in just straight out grants to help us do it. So we're able, through that and through federal housing tax credits, to cobble together all the resources, and it really is cobbling together all the resources to make every project work and get financed and built. We structure them so that we're not putting ourselves at risk of not being able to operate them, so we ensure that we have the resources for long-term operations and quality operations. So that's the development side of it. On the side of actually providing services for our residents, that's mostly done through grants and donations. We are a nonprofit. It's important for us to not just provide the housing, but also to provide supportive services for both the youth and adults in our community. So through that really is individual donations, foundation grants, corporate grants. That's our fundraising efforts are really what support our services. And those efforts also support the work, all the work we do to get to building a development. It takes a number of years before we ever break ground, and there's a lot of work, both staff work and just activities you have to do. And so that also is through our fundraising efforts and some support from both the City of Vancouver and Clark County.
I see. Now, I understand you have a new project or new development coming online just very soon here. Want to tell me about that?
Well, we have two new developments, and so the first one is a renovation that we have taken on in Washougal. We're very excited to be in East Clark County. The property was developed in 1981. It was initially affordable housing and subsidized housing, and so our intention is we wanted to maintain that housing in the community. But it was old, hadn't had a lot of reinvestment. It was drafty. Sometimes you'd go inside and you'd see the water streaming on the inside of the windows, which is not what you want to see. So we have just completed a total renovation of this 32-unit affordable apartment community in Washougal. The renovation, the first thing we did was sit down with residents to ask what would be most important for them. A couple of things came out. Oddly enough, one of the first was that they wanted the name changed.
I see.
And one reason they wanted the name changed is because of the condition of the property, it didn't have a good reputation in the community, and they were embarrassed to tell people they lived there.
I see.
We don't want people to be embarrassed of where they live, and so we said, well, we can change the name, but we're going to do more than that. We're going to change how it feels. We're going to change what the reputation is in the community. So we underwent a full renovation, upgraded all the interiors of the units, put on what was plywood siding. We put on all new hardy plank siding, energy efficient windows and doors. We ensured that we addressed any issues of water intrusion and dry rot that had been plaguing the community. We brought back the community room and put in some computers for residents. We brought back a playground that had fallen apart years ago and never been replaced. So now we have a playground, we have community gardens, we have beautiful landscaping, and really just a beautiful new community.
That's neat. We're just about out of time here, and I wish we had more time to discuss these because I think you have McAllister Place that's opening too, coming up soon. But how can people learn more about these programs that you have going on? How can they contact you?
Well, the best thing is to call our office and find out where our housing is, or visit our website. And so our office, the phone number is 360-597-0088. And our website is www.acecommunities.org. And there they'll learn about our existing communities and orchards and how to become a resident, as well as our community now called Gateway Garden Apartments in Washougal. And then the new development we're going to start this July called McAllister Village in the Fruit Valley neighborhood.
Great. Well, Leah, thank you very much for being here today and telling us about ACE.
Right. Thank you for having me.
That's all for this edition of Housing Matters. If you'd like to learn more about the programs we've discussed on today's show, you can go to the Vancouver Housing Authority website at www.vhausa.com and look for the Housing Matters TV page. I'm Steve Towle. Plan to join me again next time for more Housing Matters.